So without further ado, we're going to announce, we're going to have come in our first guest, our first elected candidate running in the upcoming Democratic primary in Yonkers for City Council in the in the 3rd District, Subomi Macaulay.
You said it right.
I'm just gonna make sure because I mess up I am perfect for messing up everybody's name. And you come into the studio. Can she hear me?
Yeah, she's right there.
Okay, come on in. Come on in. Come on in. How you doing? Any one of the 3 chairs you would like to sit in? Actually, sit over that side. Sit over this, because then I got the bigger screen that blows both bigger. So yes. So and since this is your first time on the show, let me
No,
give
he
you an
meant this one.
Black Westchester People Before Politics round of applause. And you are on mic 4. Please pull the mic close to you. You have access to the computer to plug into your social media, whatever you want to do. Let everybody know where you're at. Introduce yourself to the people.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting me on your show. My name is Ola Subomi Macaulay,
Okay.
but everyone calls me Subomi.
Okay.
I'm delighted to be here tonight.
Okay.
I am a lifelong Democrat
Mhm.
and a district leader in Yonkers.
Okay. And evidently a member of the same church that I go to.
Absolutely.
From what I hear.
27 years, Greater Centennial African Methodist Episcopal Church.
Yes.
And a member of a board member of the credit union.
Okay. So the first main question, why are you running for office and why are you the candidate that they should vote for?
I am the candidate that they should vote for because I have a long history. I've lived in Yonkers for 28 years. I have a long history of public service. I've gone through the Yonkers public school system with my daughter, a special needs kid, and I'm grateful for the assistance and help that I got from teachers, school administrators, and I'm proud to say with that help.
The guest is saying, can you pull the mic closer to you and so you talk in?
And I'm proud to
there
say
you go.
with that help, my daughter is finishing up her freshman year in college.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also running so I can get affordable housing for everyone. As you know, the rents in Yonkers are sky high today, and people spend 70 to 90% of their disposable income paying rent. That is too high. There's so much new construction going on in Yonkers, and it's shocking as I go through the neighborhoods of the 3rd District, talking to residents, talking to concerned citizens, how sad it is that our young people who attended the apprenticeship program at Saunders High School, cannot get jobs with the unions on these new constructions. That's why I'm running. I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about our children. I want them to get better schools, and I want them to get jobs in the vibrant economy that Yonkers is undergoing right now.
Now, I am quick to admit that despite what everyone thinks, I do not know it all, and I am a wealth of information because of the people I surround myself with. My co-host is a former Yonkers City Councilwoman,
Yes,
so when I have questions about Yonkers, one of the first people I go to is Lorraine. So Lorraine, would you have any questions about Yonkers, about that district, for our guests?
Yeah, probably a couple of questions. Well, first of all, who are you running against?
As you know, I'm running against Tasha Diaz and the Democratic Party's nominee, Dennis Robertson.
Okay, I do know that you're running against Tasha there because that's my niece, and as a disclaimer, let me just say, that is my niece, and that's who I'm supporting in the race. But that doesn't mean that I won't give you.
Yeah, everybody gets
a respectful interview. Have you qualified on the ballot yet?
I believe I have qualified.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What do you think is the number one priority for a city council person? The number one, what would be your number one priority if you were to become city council woman?
As a representative of the 3rd District, having gone through the neighborhoods of Ludlow Park, Sunnyside Drive, Northwest Yonkers, Woodstock, the biggest priority is to improve the quality of life for Yonkers residents.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you want me to keep? I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
Okay, but
Because you know Yonkers, you can ask Yonkers
okay, but
issues
no.
that deal with Yonkers. Like, I mean, I know some of it, but you know.
Okay, that would be your priority. That would be what you consider, I guess, your platform. What does the city council entail? The job as a city council. What does the job itself entail? For those that don't know.
When you are on the city council in any cities, and we're going to talk about Yonkers because that's where I live and that's where I'm represented.
Right.
If I get elected, you are the representative of the residents of that district.
Uh-huh.
You are there to work with them. I'm all about being inclusive, not selective. You are accountable. It's about physical responsibility. It's about caring about your constituents. It's about being there when they need you because that's why they voted for you. Be it health issues, be it housing issues, they will reach out and tell you their concerns, their problems, and it is up to you as the council representative to solve these problems because it's not about you, it's about the residents of the great city of Yonkers.
We have actually a question from the audience so far. Robbie Mann asks, what about the landlords that are paying excessive taxes?
Absolutely. I'm happy you brought that up. I have served for 8 years on the City of Yonkers Board of Assessment Review. So I understand property taxes are a great resource for the City of Yonkers. So we have the residential assessment ratio, and then we have the commercial assessment ratio. And most landlords who feel that they're paying too much in property taxes, in New York State, it's one of three ways. You're either 1/3 overassessed, 1/3 underassessed, or 1/3 just right. And what you have to do is go to the city assessor's office and fill out the form. It's called a RP 504. It's an RP form. The assessor will give it to you and grieve your property taxes. And that's what a landlord should do if they feel they're paying too much taxes. Also, a single family home owner can also do the same.
Now for like areas of Mount Vernon, we have a lot of Mount Vernon resident listeners. We don't have districts. Where is District 3 and located, and what's the makeup of the community?
Absolutely. I'm happy you asked me that. District 3 is a very, very diverse district in Yonkers. It covers areas of northwest Yonkers towards Hastings and on North Broadway down back to Nepperhan, going through all the side streets, Roberts, Lake Avenue. It covers areas of Palmer Road. It covers areas of southwest Yonkers by the Pearls Hawthorne School, Sunnyside Drive, Cornell Avenue, by McLean Avenue, and it loops around. It's not a straightforward district. I have been walking and talking to residents of this district for the last 1 year since I made my intentions known.
So what are the residents telling you? What are the main concerns of that district? What are their needs?
Well, every neighborhood is different. When I'm on McLean Avenue, they complain that for them it's quality of life. Where are the garbage cans? And I think other districts of Yonkers have complained about that too. So once I get on the city council, my goal is to bring back garbage cans at every street corner. I don't believe that the streets are cleaner. I think we need our garbage cans. So in that area, McLean Avenue, the Irish section of Yonkers, it's quality of life issues. When I go down to southwest Yonkers, over by Sunnyside Drive, Beechwood, Pierce Street, Radford, it's housing issues. Tenants feel that they have slum landlords. They're concerned that they're paying too much rent and getting nothing for it. So every neighborhood is different because I have a diverse district.
Okay. Lorraine, you got any more questions?
If you get into the city council, it's going to be redistricting. Are you going to redistrict your the third, bring it closer, a little more?
I think-
compacted?
I
or-
think it's too premature to say what will happen. I will work because it's not just my input. I have to work with other members of the Yonkers City Council to do what is right for the city as a whole. Again, as I've stated before, it's all about being inclusive. What is best for the city? Because
But I would think you would want to focus on the third, no?
absolutely, I
mean,
will focus on the
it's-
third, but the third is part of the city. So we're working together as one group. We have to be inclusive. We have to say this third district, why do we want to redistrict it? Is it good for our residents to redistrict that particular district? So that's why we have to have conversations. I believe in accountability. I believe in having town hall forum. It's not just a decision I can make on my own. I must talk to my constituents.
Okay. A follow-up question from Robbie Mann says, I'm familiar with property grievance. You stated that you're running on affordable housing. Landlords pass expenses along. That was his comment or question.
I think his is a particular case, and it's for me, affordable housing, as I explained earlier, is the housing that the median household income in Yonkers can pay. The median household income, according to the 2010 census, is $61,000 for Yonkers. The income per capita, according to the 2010 census, is $31,000. So now the poverty rate in Yonkers is 5%. So if people are spending between 75 and 90% of their disposable income on rent, that number is too high. So go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, finish.
So we have to look at every case differently.
Thank you, Gail, for asking the question. I prefer that people leave comments if they're on Facebook in the comment section so that I can just read them so we can get as many questions in with the candidate as possible. What usually happens when we take calls, people want to do these long 5-minute intros before they get to the question, and we use, 2-3 of those. You lose half of your time on just the phone call. So it's easier and more efficient right now for people, like you just ask your question, if you have one, to ask it there, and we can read it out, and then she can answer it. So that's so I prefer not to take calls at this moment, at the time. So who is Subomi Macaulay?
Subomi Macaulay is a resident of the great city of Yonkers, a lifelong Democrat who was born in Lagos, Nigeria, who came here as an international student, graduated, I have a degree in accounting, and then I have worked all of my life. I also have a real estate license, so I've done real estate for about 15 years. And currently I'm enjoying a third career as a human resources professional.
Another listener, Luis Cherico, said, what political experience do you have?
I'm always happy to say I have served for the last 3 years as the first vice president of the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus. I served as the campaign manager for Judge Arlene Gordon Oliver, who ran for family court, and my candidate won.
She was on the show, yeah.
Absolutely. I am the publicity officer of the National Council of Negro Women, Westchester section. I'm a member of the Yonkers chapter of the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus. I've been a board member of the
Wait, say the last one again? I'm sorry.
A member of the Yonkers chapter
Okay.
of the Westchester Black Women's
Okay.
Political Caucus. I have been a board member of the Untermeyer Performing Arts Center Council in Yonkers for 20 years. I've served on the Board of Assessment Review, so you can see I have about a total combined 20 years as a community activist. I'm also the treasurer of Sister to Sister International, a local Yonkers not-for-profit.
Cheryl's been on the show as well,
Absolutely.
a few times too. Shout out to Nas Duncan, said good evening, AJ and ladies. Shout out to my cousin Richard Davis. Louis Jericho said, wow, yes, you do, as far as I guess have experience. I'm trying to. Let me get this in first too, and I try to get all candidates. for anybody who's seeing you for the first time, wants to know more about you, maybe even want to volunteer in your campaign or whatever, social media, how do they reach you?
Absolutely. My website is www.SubomiMacaulay.com. I'm a motivational speaker. And they can also send me an email at Subomi, the letter 4, the figure 4, Subomi for Yonkers @gmail.com.
Okay. Now, anything I haven't asked you that you want people to know about you?
I have to say, in this journey, as I walk through the 3rd District, I am so proud of our youngsters. I spent Friday with the Neo Society, a group of Yonkers talented artists, and the leader is Malik Yancey, and these young people are phenomenal. They do so much artwork on the 4th floor of the Yonkers Public Library at the riverfront. I've met the seniors at the Kohler Center and other centers. I'm just so proud of the talent we have in the citizens and residents of the city of Yonkers.
I'm gonna read Gail's question, but before I do, Gail, Lorraine has changed her party.
No, let me.
You did?
I
Okay,
can answer
good.
for
Okay,
myself.
go ahead.
Read the question.
Okay, my question: the race, and Robbie already said it too. Lorraine isn't a Republican anymore. Robbie already beat you to it. But my question: this is Gail Baxter. The race for the 3rd District is fixed. This is her comment. The 3rd person running is Dennis Robinson, who is endorsed by the Republicans to ensure the win. Lorraine, as a Republican, what are the chances of Subomi or Tasha winning?
Well, he was endorsed by the Republicans. That is the truth. I don't think that. I didn't think it was to. Well, maybe to ensure a win but I think Dennis is scared, and Dennis is looking for as many lines as he possibly can, because Gail, the chances of one of them winning is very high, very high. I don't think Dennis has a chance in hell, to be honest.
And I just want to say, across the board, it's not uncommon. I'm seeing in elections for people to get as many lines as possible.
Yeah, everybody
so
wants
that if
it.
they lose the Democratic primary,
They're
they can
still
still
on the
run
ballot.
on to the general. So, like, I know that we have this whole Bloods and Crips mentality about Democrats and Republicans, but many Democrats have gotten the Republican line, especially because they weren't running a Republican candidate. So the Republicans will pick one of the Democratic candidates that they feel they want to endorse or get behind. So that does not mean that the person is a Republican. Like, you know, I'm just saying, because people say, "Oh, you
No,
can't."
but
trust
this
the-"
is a Democrat in name only.
Right. Okay.
He used to be a Republican.
Okay.
Now he's a Democrat, and now he's running. He's a Democrat in name only. He's going wherever the tide shifts for him.
Okay. Luis Cherico said, "Get rid of Spano. Fake Dem. Stay loyal to Spano loyalists. Oh, still loyal to Spano loyalists. Then Yonkers will change." I'm not sure.
I know
that's a
we're not
comment.
talking about Spanner
So-
right
so-
now, Luis. We're
so
talking about the 3rd.
How did you feel about the term limit situation that just passed? I know that you were not on the council at the time, but what are your thoughts on that?
I was very
That's a good
upset.
question.
I was one of the vocal, outspoken residents who was at City Hall. A lot of people said they saw me on Facebook, where I voiced my outrage
Right. Okay.
at that. I was very upset. I really think that Yonkers needs a fresh start. You need people who are professionals. I'm an accountant, so I know how to read line items on the budget. I've served on the Board of Assessment Review, and my community activism in Yonkers has just incorporated into my repertoire a depth of knowledge of what it takes to make this city work for everyone. And it's really 2 things: accountability and inclusion.
Another thing, since you mentioned the word budget, we've had guests on, Barry McCooey. I've gotten calls from Lionel Turner, both union members. There were a lot of every year. It seems like when it's come time to the budget, there's talk of firefighters and police officers getting laid off, teachers getting laid off. It seems to be something they go through every year. I think this year Cuomo, because he was in an election, came through with the 11th hour with some money, so nobody had to get laid off, or less people had to get laid off. I'm not quite sure. Since this seems to be something that goes on in the city of Yonkers, particularly. It's not the first time, and from what I'm told, that will be the same thing for the next year's budget. What, if you won, what would you do to help prevent some of these layoffs? Because I'm sure the people whose jobs are on the line would want to hear that in your district.
Absolutely. You know, budgets need professionals to look at them. You have to have a basic accounting knowledge to understand a budget. You have the revenues, you have the expenses. You have line items. You have to really look. Are these expenses justified? Are these revenues coming in? Where are those resources? Where's that money going? Follow the money, and you'll see what the problem is.
I'm changing the subject real quick. A lot of times, one of the things we do, a lot of times the jobs come up and people don't, it does not reach our audience. One of our listeners said Phelps Hospital is hiring, and the listeners can send a resume to rdavis15 at northwell.edu. Again, Phelps Hospital is hiring, and I'm going to put that on blackwestchester.com later on today. I'll get more information, but anybody...
He said this...
Go ahead.
This week he's hiring secretaries and certified medical assistants.
Who qualify? Okay, so we will get that. Where is Phelps? Where's that hospital?
Tarrytown, Sleepy Hollow.
Tarrytown. Okay, so for all the people, that's where it is. Any further information? Actually, if you have any question for him, you actually type it in the comment question. Maybe he'll answer it for you, since he'd be the person to send the resume to.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get that information. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but when I get those, I want to put those out there. One of the things we try to do is get jobs come up all the time, and our community doesn't hear about them. You know what I'm saying? And, we need the jobs more than anybody else. So I try to get those. Those are good jobs. Hospital jobs are usually good jobs, union, good pay. Once you in there, once you mess up, you in there. So and just a lot of opportunity to grow. So I just want to get that out there. Thank you, Richard Davis, for sharing that. And he said, yes, it's in Tarrytown. Okay. Any more Yonkers questions? You're my Yonkers professional. You're my Yonkers
I am, but I
culture.
really got nothing. Nothing I really want to
'Cause I'm
ask.
trying to
I
think,
already
like,
asked whatever I needed to
I'm
ask.
trying to think, like, I know, like the term limits was a big deal because I got a lot of calls from Yonkers. I know the layoffs was a really huge deal. A lot of people were about to get laid off.
I know, but this year we have Nada Sage up at the assembly. We got the most amazing dynamic woman, Andrea Stewart Cousins, up at the majority of the state senate. We have Shelley Meyer. We have Mayor Spano going up there on a regular basis as well. Everyone's lobbying. I mean, there's a team of lawmakers up in Albany fighting for Yonkers, and if they do not come back with the money, then there's something seriously wrong. Then we all need to reevaluate who are we putting in office,
Right.
Because it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make sense that this year they don't come through.
Absolutely. So Gail had, I guess, a comment more than a question. Historically, the district leans Republican. That's correct. I mean, I'm listening.
Absolutely.
Y'all Yonkers for me, so y'all. The Democrat who was in office won his seat by 60 votes. Stopping right there. That just for all of y'all that say every time I hear something like that, my vote don't count, my one vote don't count. We had an election where
You only won by one.
Right. We have an election where city judge in Mount Vernon on election day won by 10 votes. When they did all the absentees, it ended up being 40 votes. So every vote does count. So get out, vote. So let me go back to the comment. It's a multiracial district. Dennis has had 8 years to reposition himself as a special aide to the mayor and a no-show contract with the city. The female candidates have a high hill to climb. Again, the fix is in. This is Gail Baxter.
I wouldn't give him that much credit. I wouldn't give him that much credit. The hill is not that high to climb. It's really not. There's no way Dennis Robinson is going to be the next council member. No, absolutely no way.
Would you like to comment to her comment? Or say
Absolutely.
anything to it?
The third district, as you said, is a very diverse district. We have 45% Hispanic in that district. We have other ethnic groups in the district, heavy Irish, heavy Jordanian population. But you know what? We're all people. That's the bottom line. People want a fresh start. People want things to work right. How do you make things work right? Accountability and inclusion. Get the people. If you're making a decision that's going to affect the lives of the residents of Yonkers, tell them about it. Don't just, quickly do a hush-hush third-term limit. No. Get the people in the conversation. Make it transparent. We have to be transparent. Yonkers is a city of 210,000 people and growing. And the demographics is changing.
We 210,000. We're not
Absolutely.
up to there yet.
Well,
not
we're
according to
very
the
close.
census.
According to the 2010 census,
We might be
was
close, but we don't have the federal
195,000.
funding. Yeah, but
But next year, 2020, we will have another census, and the population is growing.
yeah.
I've done the data analytics. I've done the research.
But right now we don't have the 200.
We can't. So you usually
We don't because if not, we would have had all that
state,
federal funding.
right?
No,
they
the
usually
reason
state
I'm
what.
adding that
but they usually
15,000 more
state until the
people
next-
is because if you look at the waterfront,
I got
there
you.
are 17 buildings going up. On Warburton Avenue, 2 new buildings went up, 1133 Warburton, and all in that downtown corridor. So when all of that is completed, we will hover around to
And don't
with
forget
us-
all the people that got gerrymandered out of
Yes,
there
Right.
yes.
and had to leave.
Right.
Yes.
But as
But
from a
conservatively,
position.
from the 2010 census, it's 195.
Right, then that's
Yes.
and that's the number we go with
Yes.
until the next
Until
census
the
as
next,
an
which is
official.
next year.
Because they say Mount Vernon has 68,000, and there's no way that Mount Vernon is not close to 100,000 people that stuck in there. People, but officially, because of the last census, it's 68 and some change.
Absolutely.
Now, you shared a text with me on March 7th about your opponent, Dennis. What's his name? Dennis Robertson. Can I read that? Could you address it with you?
It's your show, sir.
Okay, so I just want so your text was Yonkers wake up today. The Republican Party endorsed Dennis Robertson as the 3rd district candidate for city council. Say no to Dennis, who is truly a Republican, pretending to be a Democrat, who makes $40,000 a year at City Hall. He has a cleaning contract for City Hall in Empire City. He has done nothing for the 3rd district last time he ran. And many years ago, he worked for the IDA, and he gave developers 30 to 40 tax abatements, which is still affecting us today. And then, it says to sign your thing. So would you like to speak on those things?
Absolutely. I have been a taxpayer, like I said, for close to 28 years in Yonkers. I work very hard. And if I work hard, why should someone who is just part of the old boy network just come into office again after he has served the first time and did nothing for the district? I lived in the district when he first ran. In fact, he lives 2 streets from me, so we're both in the same area of Northwest Yonkers. And I want someone, I hold myself to a high standard. I hold myself accountable. I have integrity. And if you're going to represent educated and citizens of Yonkers, you must do the work. You must work for the people. That's why we put you in office. We didn't put you in office because of you're part of the Old Boys Club. We want you to work for us. Make our city better.
All right. So, one other person. Well, I want to ask. So you're in Northwest. You live in.
Yes.
Okay. I know Southwest Yonkers has a few more things that need a few more needs
Absolutely.
than Northwest.
A lot more needs.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to be. I mean, I don't want to say nothing really
Yes.
really bad, make the whole area look bad.
Absolutely.
But it's a need. As someone who grew up or lives in Northwest, How in touch are you with what the needs are in Southwest Yonkers?
Absolutely. My daughter attended Pearls Hawthorne in Southwest Yonkers. Today I spent the day, and I've spent the last 4 weeks on Carroll Avenue, Landscape Avenue, Park Hill, throughout my district, talking to people, because you have to earn the respect and the trust of your constituents. So it's not sign my petition, it's how can I help you get a better quality of life? What issues or what concerns do you have in the 3rd District that you would like me to bring to the City Council? It's not about me. It's about the residents of the 3rd District. That's what I'm focused on. How can I help you help yourself? How can I help you get a better quality of life? How can I help you with affordable housing issues? How can I help you to get better schools? Every year, this education thing is so personal to me. It's so personal. Everybody talks about it, but what are the solutions? Bring back support services. Make our class size smaller. Because if there are 33 kids in a 1st grade class, and there's only 1 teacher and 1 teacher's aide, the student to teacher ratio is too high. Let's look at what works. We have 27,000 kids in Yonkers public schools. I visited Palisade Prep the other day. They don't have textbooks. Are you kidding me? Everything is online or is Xerox by City Hall. That is wrong.
I want to ask one of our other next question from the audience is, what do you see wrong now, and what is your path to fix it?
There's a lot wrong now. It would take all night to go through the list.
Well, what's your top 3 or whatever?
My top 3, affordable housing.
Okay.
Bringing back more shelter services. As you know, the sharing community has closed. Let's bring back more support services so we can transition people from shelter to housing they can afford and keep. Because we're getting all this grant money. So better schools, better affordable housing programs for the residents of Yonkers, 5th generation, 6th generation, and improve the quality of life. For example, we just sold the old jail, and we moved everybody to the Caucase Justice Center. That jail is operational. And we sold the old jail. Where did that money go? We're going to bring multi-million-dollar artists to come and do an art show at the old jail when we have the talent in Yonkers. I met a girl, Stephanie, in South Yonkers, who went through the apprenticeship program with IBEW 3. Finished the apprentice program, and did she get a job in Yonkers with one of those developers? No. She works in Long Island. This is Yonkers born, Yonkers raised. She has not been given the opportunity to get a job with one of those developers. I mentioned this to the mayor when he came to the Westchester Black Women's Political Caucus Yonkers chapter meeting, and he took her name and number. So I'm following up with her every week because I want her to get a job.
Last question, is there anything I didn't ask you? Again, your social media or contacts so people can reach you.
My name is Subomi Macaulay. Everybody calls me Subomi Macaulay. Join me, and together we can make Yonkers a better place for everyone. Quality of life will improve, we'll have better schools, and we'll have better housing programs. You can send me an email, Subomi4, number 4, Yonkers, @gmail.com. I'll go to my website, www.SubomiMacaulay.com. I thank you for allowing me to come on your show. It's been a pleasure.
And I do have one last thing, too. Lorraine asked you, did you qualify already for the ballot? I think that was what she asked. You've been qualified by the Board of Elections. They've told you you're on the ballot?
I will be sending in my...
Okay,
so you're not qualified
send
yet.
It in? Okay.
I didn't send it in.
No, because I didn't know that
that
anybody. I didn't know any of the candidates in Westchester were qualified yet.
Yes.
And I just wanted to clarify that because
Absolutely.
I was like, you have to be one of the first that they actually got a qualification.
I will be doing that this week. I just met with my campaign this afternoon.
All right. Well, I thank you for taking your time to come. I thank you for coming on the show. I wish you the best. I'm following this race, so please keep us, sending us, whatever you're going to be at and what you're working on, and so I can continue to follow up on this race. And like I said, we try to bring you all the candidates that we can that are running, so that you, the viewer, you, the listener, you, the resident, you, the voter, can hopefully make a more informed decision at the ballot box, not vote for just one person because they're a man or a woman, or vote for somebody because somebody else is voting for them, or whatever the reason. But why you're voting for the person you're voting for, and we hope so we can have some more informed voters. The Democratic Party in specific as a whole, Westchester County and abroad, has taken advantage of the African American voter, and they kind of depend on you being misinformed and uninformed. So we are trying to be the balance, and we're trying to inform you. Who you vote for is your decision. I can't make that decision for you, but we're asking that you do get involved, do find out as much as you can about the candidates. I will try to get you the information so you can make an informed decision. The primary is what day?
June 25th, sir.
Okay, June 25th. So, 3rd District, y'all got a decision to make June 25th in that district. And I welcome you again and give you a second round of applause for your pick.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. And we have another.